The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Right, the spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The party's on, the feeling's here. That only comes this time of year. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network from our studio in Hamilton, Ontario. 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free. That is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. And our websites, www.xzoneradio.com and www.xzonetv.com. The holidays are coming, and now more than any other time that I can remember, the holidays are very stressful, and people seem to, instead of getting together, people are drifting apart in numbers that have experts baffled. My guest this hour is Gaye Chicoine, and Gaye and her husband, Ed, got tired of the rat race and raising 6 kids in a fast-paced, fast food, fast times environment, and they wanted to slow things down. So they packed up the kids and left. They left town, they left their country, they left their continent. They landed in South America and learned how to rely on one another, respect one another, and love one another through an adventure that spanned 15 different countries and 3 years. They returned to their home in Canada, a family that not only got along, but actually liked being together. Gaye Chicoine is the author of Living Dreams. Her website is www.authorschoice.com. Has put some of the life lessons that she learned from the trip into 5 key New Year's resolutions designed to bring families together in the year 2010. Number 1, we're going to ask her about these keys. And joining me now from northern Quebec is Gaye Chicoine. And Gaye, thank you very much for joining us here in the X Zone. And what is the number 1 resolution families can do in order to get family unity back together in the year 2010?
The number 1 is, for me and our family, is mostly just to have family dinners together and plan on them and just plan to be together at least once or twice a week. And that is a very key point to having family unity. We are so worked up and doing so many things. Everybody has their own life and doing so many different things that it's important for us to be together once in a while, just to create a family unit.
Now, I've watched a lot of these shows on the different channels, like TLC, the Woman's Channel, Home and Garden TV, and it seems that whenever they're showing homes, the kitchen is no longer the focal point for the family. And I find this very strange. Whatever happened to the kitchen with the family table and the family chairs where the family used to sit, discuss, and get together once a day at supper, once a day at lunch, and once a day at breakfast? What happened to that?
Well, that is true. We don't get together like that once a day, and most of it is because we have a tendency to put our children in so many activities that they're doing things with other people all the time, and these activities are becoming more and more, and they're being scheduled during times that are really crucial for family time. My daughter just was invited to play soccer, and it was Sunday evening. And she said, "Well, that's our family dinner time. I don't think I'm playing soccer in that league."
Good
this
for
year.
her. Good for
Yeah.
her. Gaye, you and I have to
Yeah.
take a 2-minute commercial break. Please stand by. Thank you very much for joining us here on the X Zone. Gaye Chicoine is our special guest. www.livingdreamsbook.com. You know what? I detest those channels, Home and Garden, TLC, and all these other stations that have all these different home decorators and these home enthusiasts telling you what your home should look like. I think it's up to the people that live in the home to make the home as comfortable as they feel fit, and they shouldn't have to rely on people who on TV look as if they not only need new hairdos, but in my personal humble opinion, they suck. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues right here on Talkstar.
Hi, I'm Bruce Johnston of the Beach Boys, asking you to drive carefully over the holiday season.
Why can't every day be just like Christmas?
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, la 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 la.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My guest this hour is Gaye Chicoine, and we're talking about living dreams. And the name of her book is Living Dreams, and her website is www.livingdreamsbook.com. All right, now, we talked about the first of the 5 resolutions that you have come up with for better family ties in the year 2012, and that being have family dinners together, and I love that idea. What is number 2 on your list?
Oh, if when you're planning a vacation, take a vacation somewhere off the beaten path and do something unusual as opposed to going to places where there's a lot of other people around that distract from a family unity. In North America is packed with destinations. Like you can go camping, you can go doing all kinds of things like that that your family can be together. Alone. It's more important to be together alone, and so that you can create relationships with each other.
But what happens if the relationships have come to the point that people are just sticking together because they're used to each other, that basically there's nothing else in this relationship holding them together?
Well, I kind of believe that we get together in the first place because we love each other, right? And a relationship will continue to go as long as we continue to love each other, for one, and when things are not going right, to work out those problems and communicate with each other. I mean, if we once loved each other, then why wouldn't we continue to love each other if we can work out our problems?
That's a good point. All right, so number 2 is take vacations off the beaten path. Number 3.
Read books together. This is one thing that I found that has created real family time in our family. For one, we homeschooled our children, and the kids did a lot of reading on their own. But we always read books in the evening times after supper. At home, we would, in the wintertime in particular, we'd gather around the fire in the living room, and we would sit and read books for 2 or 3 hours in the evening till quite often very, very late. And often we read books, the classics that are difficult for young people to read, and we would discuss them. We read the Da Vinci Code together, and Great Gatsby, lots of classics, Catcher in the Rye, but lots of things like that bring up discussion, and we can talk about things and talk about issues and what's going on in the world, and so when we discuss things like that together, we have a sense of ideas of each other, and we get to know each other better. And getting to know one another is important to having a family relationship or a relationship with another person.
I would imagine that would also work as getting to re-know someone as well.
Getting to re-know someone as well, yes. Books are amazing, and in particular when we are when we do have issues, find a book that kind of addresses that issue in a different way, sort of like the way mythology brings out little issues in their life and in metaphorically. And if you find a book that has that kind of situation going on in the book, and then you have one that is that carries through in your own life, and sometimes it will give you ideas on how to work through those issues that you have. And it's kind of a neat way to deal with them if you can't communicate.
All right, number one.
Communication is so important.
It is, and communication is a two-way street. So many times in a relationship, one person will talk and then expect the other person to listen, but they never give the other person a chance to talk.
Yes.
So how can you communicate? Yeah. All right, so far we have the following New Year's resolutions. Number one, have family dinners together. I love that. Number two, take vacations off the beaten path. Yeah. Number three, read books together. Number four, what is that?
Work together. Work together. Well, that's a resolution for our family, really. I mean, I know a lot of families don't work together, and it's kind of difficult for us, for people to work together to create an income for themselves. But we have a family business. When we returned back from South America, the kids were getting older, and they were homeschooled, and they did go, so a few of them did go to university when they were becoming that age, but a lot of them have become very business-minded as well, because that's part of being successful in our life. And my son, who is now 23, I believe it is, I can't always remember their exact ages, but 2 or 3 years ago, in the village in our village here in Wakefield, he saw a convenience store that he said, if we put our energy into this store together, and we can make it improve on it and make it a business of our own as opposed to working for other people. And so when he had all his siblings convinced that it would be a good idea to work together and create their own business, Ed and I decided that we would back them up, and we mortgaged our house and purchased the store, and now that has created such a family unit, because we spend a lot of our time, of course, discussing the business and how to make it go together and how to make it work, and discussing problems and employees and how to work with them. And so that has held us together. Instead of everybody going off into their own direction, we have this family unit that works together. And everybody relies on each other. We're very considerate of hoping to be considerate of each other. And yes, when somebody is becoming overworked, then they say, yes, this one needs some time off, et cetera, et cetera. So working together is a way to keep your family together as well.
All right, that's number 4. Now, what is number 5?
Well, for me in particular, is to work on your individual happiness. Many times parents will work work to and sacrifice for their kids and to have better lives, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes when we do that too often, we have a tendency to feel resentful and like we're being taken advantage of, and emotionally as well. If we have our emotional issues from our own childhood as parents, how to explain that better? As parents, we have our issues from our own childhood, and those issues from our childhood have a tendency to come through and happen again in our own children because we haven't dealt with them. And if we deal with those issues, and can be more effective parents. And so what I'm trying to say is, if we work on ourselves, we have to have better relationship with ourselves first and learn to be happier. We will be able to have better relationships with our children. And we won't feel so resentful when it takes time, when they take our time away, et cetera, and when we need to do things that we feel obligated to as opposed to what we want to do. So I think if we work on ourselves emotionally to give us a better outlook on the world in general, then it is possible to have better relationships with our own children.
What do you think is the single most important aspect of the holidays that brings family unity back together?
Well, definitely the holiday season. Well, most families have family dinners, right? But sometimes that's a very, very stressful thing for families because they haven't worked out their relationships throughout their lives. And I don't know. That's a tough one. These dinners here. Holidays can be a very stressful time of year,
especially in these days and times. You better believe it. As you and I were talking off air, that people are just already starting to show signs of more stress than at any other time of the year.
Yes, and one of the hard things with that is that families have expectations of how things should be done and being dressed appropriately, and there's all kinds of protocol that goes along with this. And when I know that the older generation, a lot of times they expect things to be a certain way, and which creates a lot of family tension. And if we could just let go of this protocol that we and standards that we have to live up to, everybody could relax a little bit more and enjoy each other more, as opposed to trying to make things the way they expect things to be, as opposed to just enjoying the way it is.
Seems that people...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, because it seems in today's society people are dictating to other people how they should act, how they should think, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And there seems to be less and less respect for people in this world.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
You and I have to take a commercial break. Please stand by. Our very special guest this hour is Gaye Chicoine. Interesting book, X-Zone Nation. It's called Living Dreams. It's available at www.livingdreamsbook.com. That's www.livingdreamsbook.com. And here are 5 points that can make this a better 2010 for you. Number 1, have family dinners together. Number 2, take vacations that are off the beaten track. Number 3, read books together. Number 4, work together. And number 5, work on individual happiness. I love it. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern. Then the show is repeated in its entirety from 2 until 6 a.m. I'll be back on the other side of this break with the news as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on Talkstar.
Deck the halls.
Flu season is here again, and this year so is the H1N1 flu virus. By taking some simple steps, you can help protect yourself and others. Wash your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. Cough and sneeze into your arm, not your hand. Keep common surfaces and items like doorknobs and keyboards disinfected. To find out more, go to fightflu.ca or call 1-800-O-Canada. Knowledge is your best defense. A message from the Public Health Agency of Canada.
Hi there, Kermit the Frog from Sesame Street, wishing everybody listening to the X-Zone a very Merry Christmas and a happy, wonderful New Year.
It was almost Christmas time, and there I stood in another line, trying to buy that last gift or two, not really in the Christmas mood. Standing right in front of me was a little boy waiting anxiously, pacing round like little boys do, and in his hands he held a pair of shoes. And his clothes were worn and old. He was dirty from head to toe. And when it came...
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Toll free is 1-877-528-8255. That is toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Email xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. And our websites, www.xzoneradio.com and xzonetv.com. My guest this hour is Gaye Chicoine. We are talking about her book. It is entitled Living Dreams, and her website is www.livingdreams.com. That's www.livingdreams.com. And what is your favorite time of the year, Gaye?
Oh, my. I have a hard time with that one. I like each season for its own reason. I guess I would really say that summer is my favorite season, but all of them are special times this year.
So what do you and your family do different in the summer that you would do, let's say, at Christmas or at Easter? Or do you maintain the same family unit, same family camaraderie year-round?
Well, we kind of hold it together year-round, and Christmas and summertime are two times of the year that we definitely try to spend a few days together. At Christmas time, we try to get together with extended family as well, and in the summertime in particular, we like to go to Sauble Beach for a week as a family and spend a week just playing volleyball on the beach and enjoying the beach and just relaxing together and giving everybody a little bit of a break.
What would you like to tell people who are listening, who are getting totally stressed out at this time of the year? Because they may be from a family that has recently split up, a family where a member of the family who has been a long loved one has passed away, or maybe a member of the family whose son or daughter has been deployed to the Middle East. What do we tell them at this time of year? How do we say it's okay?
It is okay, and the important thing is the family members that you have with you right now, those are the important people. Those are the important people to spend time with and be with and pay attention to. These are the ones, the people that are with you immediately. If a family has broken up or there has been a death in the family, it is all the more important to stay together and of the people who are left, and so that you have somebody to rely on and be with, and have a better, and how do I say that? Just enjoy each other that you have.
What has been your biggest challenge when it comes to keeping your family together?
Everybody's busy lives. My children are now getting to be becoming young adults, and of course everybody has their own life. They're off in university, they have jobs of their own, other than the store and doing things, and you know, they take trips, et cetera, and it's still tough to have a family dinner on Sunday evening together, but we definitely try to make a point of doing that. That's my biggest challenge. is having a family dinner on Sundays with them becoming young adults. It's much easier when they are little. You can say, yes, no, this time has to be our time, just for a few hours on this day, and and make it a point of doing it. Whereas when they are older, they have to be committed to doing that. And if they're not, then that's something that we haven't built on from the time that they are young. And in an older family, if you've built on that, they will want to be there occasionally on a Sunday dinner.
So what advice would you give to young families just starting out? Let's say they've just been married a couple of years so far. They haven't been blessed with any young children. How would you suggest that they prepare for the days ahead in order to keep that family unit going?
Well, with working families, and they have busy lives, and if you can't have meals together during the week, then definitely make a point on the weekend of having at least one or two sit-down meals together. Make breakfast together, French toast, and make the kitchen messy, and do things together. Like make meals together, and definitely block time out, family time. No friends even. Just block family time out for just family. That's my suggestion.
There's a quote here from you that says, I believe positive family relationships create human beings that are capable of accomplishing anything they put their mind to. When we as parents take time to watch our children during their early years, for as long as children want to be and do things with their parents, then we have the basis for building a lifelong positive relationship with them. Do you think that this is a major problem today, that parents are not showing their children that they have enough faith in them and that they're willing to be with the child no matter what happens?
Yes, absolutely. I think that, I'm really an attachment parent. I found that when I was with my children, they were happier, I was happier. And as long as they wanted to be with me, they were happy. And when they wanted to do something else out in the world, then they took the initiative to go out and do that. They just became young, confident young people. And they just have confidence. They have high self-esteem. And they have a good relationship with other people, and good relationships with other people. And so if we take the time to have a relationship with our children when they are young, they have the ability to have relationships with other people, not just their family, in a positive way. If we build positive relationships within the family, then it's going to go out into the world as well. It's like that pebble in the pond, right? It creates the ripple effect. So it all starts in the family. Family has to be the backbone of society.
I understand that, and I truly appreciate where you're coming from. However, in today's society, where it may be mom and dad both need to be out to work to bring in the income, maybe it's a single mom, maybe it's a single dad, and the values and virtues of family life that you and I are discussing this hour cannot be done in the way that we would like it to. So what advice do we have for single mom and dads?
Well, I mean, that is a very tough situation, and the important thing is quality time together, at least 2 or 3 times a week. And that's not, is that a tough thing to do you think? 2 or 3 times a week?
I don't believe it is.
Yeah. I mean, we need to spend time with our children. Why do we have them?
I understand that, but there are many circumstances where the courts intervene, and the courts are ultimately given the responsibility by society of taking this child and trying to establish what is best for him or her in light of both the circumstances that the child is faced with. And I do not envy any family court judge who has to sit in that chair, and my hat goes off to them for the work that they do. However, sometimes a dad or a mom, whoever does not have custody, will only see the child maybe every second weeks for a number of hours during the day, or if they're lucky enough for an overnight stay.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do here,
Well,
and how do we instill these family virtues into a child who doesn't know them?
Well, I mean, what time you do have with your family, then make it the best time possible. When we create animosity between our relationship, a father and a son, for example, that's 9, 10 years old, if the son is angry at his father for not being with his mother, and they have a tete-a-tete every once in a while about what's going on, and the father should work on not being and having animosity, or the son should work on it. It's more up to the parent than it is up to the child, just to create a better relationship with effective communication and compassion and understanding. But the important thing is to create a good time with the time that you do have.
Tell me, Gaye, why did you write your book?
Why did I write my book?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly for my children. It wasn't supposed to end up being a book for the public. It was memoirs for my children. They were young when we left, and I wanted them to remember what we did and what we did together, and how we had a good time together. We had a lot of hard times and a lot of difficult times, and that's all in there as well. And we worked through them.
What were some of the hard times that you faced as a family unit?
Well, while we were traveling, we would get extremely moody, and we would end up fighting with each other, and it would be an angry time with each other. And so it was at that time when we would end up like that, it was so important to just stop, because while we were driving to Chile, because that was our destination originally, we would just have to stop for a couple of days. Just stop, rest, relax, be with each other, and just chill out so that we're not fighting with each other again, and then be prepared to move on. And that was a challenge. That was definitely a challenge. It was a big culture shock for us to land in South America with our vehicle, and then expect to drive from Venezuela to Chile through all these countries that were a different language in the beginning. Ed and the kids managed to pick up Spanish quite easily by the time we arrived in Chile, and it was a tough thing to have to adjust to. And so we did get very moody, and we did have a very tough time, but we stuck together, and we did it, and getting over the difficult times is what creates the ability to think problems through, and the ability to overcome these problems.
How do you think, or what is your belief that the diversities that you went through actually brought your family closer together? If your family would not have made this trip down throughout South America, would your family have been together today?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. They would have gone to separate schools, found different interests, and gone off and done all kinds of different things, like on their own. Right now, Ben and Jake, they work together in a construction renovation company, and if we hadn't have gone on this journey, they wouldn't have been as close, and they wouldn't have had the same kind of relationship with each other. And right now they're working together and creating an income for themselves together.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That is truly wonderful.
Yes.
What advice do you have for listeners today who may have families or be in a family situation that is just on the edge of either going together or splitting?
Growing together or splitting?
Yes. What advice would you have? Yes.
Can you rephrase that question, please?
Well, I think I said it very plain. What advice do you have for families who are either planning at this very time to either see it through, try again, or just call it quits?
Oh, everybody has to do what's right for themselves. That's all I can say. Everybody, if you feel what's right for yourself, then that's what you need to do. I can't explain it any better than that. That people are happiest when you're doing what is best for yourself. What is.
But what happens if it's not the best thing for your family, your children?
Well, that's the choice we make. And yes, I can see that. At one point during the journey, I was about ready to leave and leave them all behind and just take off by myself because I was at my wit's end and emotionally myself as well. I was in a very bad situation, and I just felt like the whole family would be better off without me. And then my little 3-year-old girl came up to me when I was crying and gave me the biggest hug. And she says, "You'll be okay, Mommy." And I thought, all right, I will be okay.
All right,
and
stand
she
by.
was being the adult at that point, and I was being the child. And I looked at her and I thought, you know what? We're better together.
All right, stand by. We've got to take a commercial.
At the right moment.
All right, we've got to take a commercial break. Please stand by. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, and you're listening to us live and around the world on Talkstar. www.xzoneradio.com.
The holly green, the ivy green, the prettiest picture you've ever seen. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks at home. It's nice, to kiss your beau and cuddling under the mistletoe. And Santa Claus, of course, is one of the boys from home. The door is always open, the neighbours pay a call, and Father John, before he's gone, will bless the house and all. Our hearts are light, our spirits bright, we'll celebrate our joy tonight. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks at home. The holly green, the ivy green, the prettiest picture you've ever seen. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks at home. It's nice, to kiss your beau and cuddling under the mistletoe. And Santa Claus, of course, is one of the boys from home. We'll decorate the Christmas tree when all the family's here around the room.
Welcome back, everyone. Gaye Chicoine is our special guest. Her website is www.livingdreamsbook.com. That's www.livingdreamsbook.com. Gaye, what was the hardest part about you writing the book? I know there comes a point in every author's writings that they just have one problem, and once this problem is overcome, the rest is apple pie, so to speak.
Taking the time to do it. We homeschooled our children, and that was priority, definitely, and it was having the time to actually put it down in a coherent form and getting it out there.
Now, why did you homeschool your children?
So we could have a family. My husband works in the evenings most of the time because he is a chiropractor. We live in a community that his business is kind of a bedroom community to an urban center. Yes. And his business comes between 4 and 8 o'clock. And when the children were young, the whole week would go by when they were in school, and he wouldn't get to see them, and they wouldn't get to see each other, and it became a very difficult thing for us to have. School seemed to be pulling our family apart. And between a few issues of within the school itself and my daughter not being very happy, we just decided that we would try to homeschool for a while just so that we could have a family, a little bit more of a family life. And
any regrets?
That's the reason.
Any regrets?
Any regrets?
Yeah.
None whatsoever. Not as far as the homeschooling is concerned. The kids have grown up. They're very well educated. They have a high level of confidence and self-esteem. Mm-hmm. They're very capable of thinking problems through, and when they see that they need to do something, they go out and do it. And they are capable of supporting themselves as well.
Now, did they go on to university and college?
Yes. Tanya,
Excellent.
my daughter, is at Concordia right at the moment. She is doing in the theater design program. Ben went to university for a year and a half, and when he was getting so many calls for work, he just decided at one point, he says, "Mom, this is crazy. I can be making $1,000 a week. What am I going to school for?" He says, I'll go to school when I'm a little bit more financially stable, he said.
Smart young man.
So he dropped out of school, and he's doing very well for himself. He's even purchased his own house, and he's 23 years old.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity of thanking you very much, Gaye, for joining us tonight here on the X Zone, and also this opportunity to wish you, your family, and your friends a very Merry Christmas and a healthy, prosperous New Year.
Thank you very much.
You take care of
Thank
yourself,
you
and
much.
thank you very much for joining us here in the X Zone. Good night now. Gaye Chicoine has been my special guest this hour, X Zone Nation. She is the author of Living Dreams. And if you'd like to visit her website, www.livingdreamsbook.com. That's www.livingdreamsbook.com. My name's Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, and then the show is repeated in total from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. Eastern. 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com. And our websites, www.xzoneradio.com and www.xzonetv.com. We'll be back. Don't go away.
One of the boys from home. We'll decorate the Christmas tree when all the family's here. Around the roaring fire, we will raise a cup of cheer. There's gifts to bring and songs to sing.